Photographing. Taking photos. You would think that you wouldn't have to actually do an educational video about taking photos, but in this industry, you have to do it. Great video for public adjusters, but also for the homeowner. Making sure that if you hire a public adjuster or a contractor and they want to take a look at the damage that has occurred, maybe you could actually do it right. Because there is a way, there is a process, and there is a technique to taking the proper photos and gathering the documentation. And let's get into it right now, step by step, in 3, in 2, in 1, and... What's up, advocates? Welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Claims Show. I am your host, Vince Perri, owner and CEO of Elite Resolutions and the Commercial Claims Advocate. Make sure you subscribe to the channel below so that you can get all the content that we are creating every single week. We call it Content Wednesday. So happy Wednesday, everybody. Let's get right into it. Photographing. Photographing is so important. I can't tell you the amount of times, and this is for you too, contractors. You guys refer us a claim, and you send us your photo report and we don't see anything. We have nothing. Now they're getting much better as contractors have been getting into claims a little bit more. I'd say over the last, 6 or 7 years or so, we're getting better reports now. But the fact of the matter is it's just a lot of experience with really bad reports, which is the reason why we like to send a licensed public adjuster out no matter what to take a look at it and take it the way we like to do it. Here at Elite Resolutions, we do have a method, we do have an SOP, we do have a process for making sure that we are taking the photos the way we want them. We even have a checklist that all of our adjusters get that they take on site, and they make sure, well, it's actually on their company cam. Shout out to company cam. We use you guys. Thank you very much for everything you do, which would be one of my first suggestions. If you're going to take photos and you're going to document the claim correctly, use company cam. Company cam's the way to go. We use it at Elite Resolutions. We love it. We enjoy it. It allows you to organize the photos the way you want to. It allows you to also actually pinpoint where the damage is and describe the entire situation, describe the photo, describe the claim, put all the facts. It is wonderful. We love it. Thank you, company cam. So photographing, make sure, I'm going to take you sort of through our step-by-step process of how we properly take photos, and we take it the same way every single claim. I'm going to take you through it. Are you guys ready? Let's go. In 3, 2, 1, here we go. First thing you want to do is make sure that you are detailed, okay? Make sure that you're ready. Make sure that you're prepared to take approximately 100 photos for a normal residential claim. Commercial loss could be 500. I've taken over 1,000 photos before. So you want to be detailed. You want to make sure you're getting every single piece of the damage. You want it to be thorough. Another piece of advice I will give, some people do it differently. I personally like to inspect the loss first. Take a look at it, walk through it with the client, explain to me, give me the story, right? Walk me through exactly what's going on here and what's happening, what happened on the date of loss, what happened as you noticed it. Show me everything sort of how you saw it, walk me through it so that I can really get a good understanding, because I want the photos to tell that same story. We have desk adjusters that work in-house, and the desk adjusters, they don't go out to the property. So we need to make sure that our photo story that we are telling, they're able to see it, and they're able to really just determine exactly what's going on when they have to present the claim to the opposing desk adjuster and negotiate for it. So first thing you do, number one, is you really want to make sure that you take a photo of the front of the house. So that's step number one. Photograph the front of the house and make sure that that photo has the house number on it. So whether the house number is on the mailbox, you take a photo, have the house number like on the bottom right and the photo in the background. Or if the house number is right on the house, make sure you have the whole house so you can see the photo. And then I would go on to take the next photo of close-up of the actual house number. When you are door knocking or it's a storm and you have several inspections in one day, a lot of times that front of the house photo will be the only photo that separates the previous house from the next house. So make sure that first photo is of the front of the house, and make sure you get a photo of the house number along with it. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to do all of your elevations, okay? Make sure that you're doing all the exterior. Make sure you're going around the entire exterior, taking photos of all of that stuff, okay? Making sure that you are going around. Now, it depends, right? I'm getting carried away. If you're going because you know it's a roof, okay, and that's kind of where it is, then you may want to start with the roof, okay? But if you've just got overall damage and it's kind of all different places, then you can start with the exterior. It doesn't matter. Let's just pretend for now we're starting with the exterior. You've already walked it. You already know what's going on. So you start with the exterior. Take a photo of the front elevation. You are going to notice something here. Everything starts with an overall photo and then get into your details. That's basically, I could literally stop this. I could stop. Should we stop? No, but that's literally what we're going to get into. So you start with the front. Take the entire side of the front, and if there's damage in the front, take photos of that damage. You go to the next side. Now, along with that, we like to have people also take photos of the windows, so we have an understanding of what the size is. If we have damage to the screen, we can see what kind of screen, we can see what kind of windows they are, we can see what kind of just things that they have. There could be some lights and stuff that we need to put to detach and reset, maybe replace. So photos of everything is very important, because if you do not write it in your scope sheet, which I'll go over one of those videos eventually, then the estimator who's estimating it, or when you go back home and you're not sure, you don't have it in your photos, you can't put it in your estimate, it affects the value of your claim. So anyway, front of the house, get into detail. Next, the side of the house, get into detail of where that damage is. We're going to want to know what kind of texture that exterior is, so you want to get close up. Are there any nicks and dinks and stuff like that? Make sure you get photos of that stuff. Very, very important. Then go to the other side, go to the other side, go to the other side. Now we can get into the roof, right? What do you got in your roof? You've got your fascia, you've got your soffits, you've got your gutters, right? If you put your roof on there, you could at least, your ladder, you could take a look at the shingles, right? But at least from the bottom, you could tell, you can get your measuring tape out, you can measure the fascia, you can measure the soffit, you can measure the gutters if you want, and you could actually get a close-up of what kind of gutters are there, what kind of soffit is it, what kind of fascia is it wood, is it vinyl, is it metal, whatever it is, the close-up photos will go ahead and take that. So make sure you're taking photos of that stuff as well. A lot of people like to use a pitch gauge, so when you put that ladder up there, you want to take a look at the starter shingles. You want to take a look at the underlayment if possible. So this is now, we've done the exterior, and now we've done the soffit, we've done the fascia. Now we're going to go put the ladder up there, and we're going to just be at the edge of the ladder, and you're going to look at the front. You're going to lift everything up, okay? You're going to want to take a look at the drip edge. You're going to want to see if you're going to take a look at the drip edge to see if it's on top or below of the gutters. A lot of little things that you want to look at, but you want to be, I don't even have to give you have to be really, this is why you take over 100 photos in a normal residential. You want to take a look at the starter shingles. You want to take a look at, try to lift it up so you can see maybe the kind of underlayment. You want to take a look at the drip edge. You want to take a look at all this stuff. You want to measure your gutter while you're up there. These are standard practice procedures that the insurance company use, that we now use, we've used for a little while now at Elite Resolution. So now we're on the roof. Personally, scope of the roof. So let's say you have just your normal gable roof. I like to go on one slope, which is the one slope, and just take a photo of the entire slope. Now take a photo of all of the details. So personally, we normally like to go through, and we like to take a look at the hail damage, whatever damage is there, mark it up with the chalk and all that stuff, and then go ahead and take all the photos with all the chalk and stuff. You could also take a photo before you put all the chalk marks and everything. It's really however you want to do it, but we want to take a picture of the whole slope, and then we want to get into details of that slope so that we know that that's what it is. One of the things that we like to do is maybe you put left slope or north slope, so you write it with chalk, and then you could put a W for how many shingles have wind damage and an H for how many shingles have hail damage, or with tile, I guess you could do the same thing. Those are some of the things that we do. So you want to take a whole elevation of the slope and then get into detail. And that's pretty much it. You're pretty much done with your roof after you've done that. We've done the exterior already, so that's done. Make sure that you're getting the other structures as well. Make sure you're getting up on the roof of the other structure as well. Make sure you're getting inside the shed, because there may be some interior damage, and frankly, there might be some interior, some content damage. You never know. So make sure that you're doing that. When we go inside, we'll go into the attic, but attic is also something good to do. The next thing is going to be your pool enclosures. Make sure that you are getting an overall of the pool enclosure. Okay, inside and outside. And again, get into detail. I want to know how that pool enclosure is attached to the floor, and I want to know if that's been lifted at all, because what does that mean? If that pool enclosure has been yanked up from the tile, and that tile, or whatever, that floor, exterior floor that you've got, and that is continuous throughout the entire backyard, that could really increase your claim, because they're going to have to replace all that now in order to do it right, if they have to replace the pool enclosure. And then look out for any nicks and dinks and breaking in the screen, stuff like that. That could be the difference between a rescreening and a full pool enclosure replacement. So there's that. And then after that, we like to walk inside. So if you're struggling and waiting forever and a day to get paid on your claims, because you have to wait for the mortgage company, you have to wait for the client, you have to wait for all of these things, Iink Payments by Iink solves that for you. By simply uploading it onto their system, everything gets processed, and you get directly deposited your fee into your bank account. Choose Inkpay and make sure that you use the promo code VINCE so that you can get $299 off the initial registration fee. So go ahead and check it out, Ink Payments. We've been using it for a long time. Everybody needs an attorney on their side. So whether you're a public adjuster, a contractor, or anyone else in the insurance claims business, make sure that you have an attorney that you could rely on, that you can go to for questions whenever you need it. That guy for me for the last 12 years has been David Farber. David Farber is the owner of the Farber Law Firm, and he has been there for me from the beginning of my career until now. And I would love for him to be able to help you as well. So make sure you call him at this number here and visit his website so you can learn more about the amazing David Farber of the Farber Law Firm. Try to follow a trend, right? Start with the exterior, okay? I kind of mixed around a little bit, so my apologies, but you can either start with the roof, okay? Then when you get down, you do the whole exterior and include your pool enclosure and your other structures. Main thing is start with exterior and then go to the interior unless it's not an exterior loss. Maybe there is no damage. We're not talking about a wind event. Maybe we're talking about just a interior water loss. First thing I like to do is I like to, again, take another photo of the house. If the house number is there, I like to take a photo of the front door. I open the door and then take a photo with the front door open. And then I walk in and then it's the same thing. So you can do one of two things. I know that there's a lot of guys, a lot of people that like to start where the damage is. By all means, I personally, for some reason, I've always just liked to do a walkthrough of the house until I get to the damage. However you want. But just for argument's sake, because I did this in a class once, a lot of them actually started from the damage. So let's start from the damage. You go to the bathroom, you go to the kitchen where that damage is. Start with that overall shot, okay, of that actual room and I like to get closer and closer and closer and closer to the damage. That's what I like to do. And then we start taking photos of the damage. Okay, very important that you do that. But now what is related to that damage? Okay, if you have interior damage from a roof leak, we want to get that entire ceiling and then photos of that damage. But what also do we want to get? Is it popcorn texture? What kind of texture is it? How many ceiling fans? How many vents are there? What is it the same color as the wall? These are photos that we need to take. What's the thickness of the crown molding? Because again, if you're going to put it into your scope and put it into your estimate, the estimator needs to know that, or you need to know that when you go back and you want it in your photo. So you're taking your photos for two reasons, guys. Reason number one is to document and show the damage. Reason number two is so that you could put a hell of an estimate together when you get back. So take overview of the ceiling. I personally, like with every room, overview of the room. I like to take photos of the floor. I like to take photos of the ceiling. And then maybe another overview of the room from different sides of the room. And then again, get specific with your damage. Again, with the floor, get close with the floor. We want to know what kind of floor that is. Make sure that if it's cabinets, you're taking photos of the cabinets. Make sure you open the doors and take a photo of what that of what the quality is of the cabinet as well. Make sure you're taking a photo of the plumbing system that's going on. And then, of course, also take a photo of all of the damages as well. But it's very important. Ceiling, wall, floor. The toilet, the tub, the sink. In the kitchen, we want to know what the appliances, right? You want to write them down, but make sure you get a photo of the appliances. Does this house have a dishwasher or not have a dishwasher? You will want a photo of that as well. And that's pretty much it. You know, one of the things that we have here is we like to have all our photos taken landscape. Okay, we think it's very important that you do that just so they have a uniform appearance. And carefully, if you got an iPhone, it's going to be that .heic crap. It doesn't work for us. It's got to be JPEG. So make sure that you're using JPEG to take all your photos, at least if you come on Elite Resolutions. That was kind of all over the place, right? I had like a script. I had this thing that I was following. I kind of followed it, but I didn't. I hope you guys learned something. I mean, if you picked up one thing, then it's a success to me. So I hope at the very least that we got that. Thank you guys for watching. I know, sometimes a little scatterbrain, but I think we did okay here. Additional living expenses is one of the most difficult parts of an insurance claim. And the reason is it's very high pressure. And as a public adjuster or contractor, you're already dealing with the negotiating of the build back process. You don't want to have to deal with ALE as well. Black Diamond Housing Services does all of that. They don't even charge the client. They bill it directly to the insurance company. It's all covered under the ALE coverage. So you need to call Black Diamond if you have a house that has been severely lost, whether it's like severe mold, severe water, fire, or anything like that, where they need a place to stay. Call Black Diamond Housing Services and they'll be able to take care of your claim client from beginning to end. EliteResolutions.com if you want more information. There's a ton of FAQs there if you're a policyholder to learn, and for you public adjusters to share with your clients. Also, if you want to come work for us, whether you want to be a public adjuster or just be a actual employee and work as administrator or whatever, we're always looking for talented people. Very important to me. And also commercialclaimsadvocate.com if you are a public adjuster and you're looking for some consulting and some advice and some help. That's what we are here for, is to help you scale your public adjusting firm and be super duper successful. Thank you very much. Subscribe below. Please follow me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and probably somewhere else, TikTok. I hope you learned something. Guys, have a killer rest of your week. Kick ass, take names, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.